Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are having a wonderful day. Today is July 24th, and it is Thursday. It's Thursday. Hopefully, everyone's having a wonderful week and a wonderful day. The weekend is almost here. It's been an interesting day in the news world, but I hope all of you guys have had a wonderful day. My day's been pretty all right. Had a nail appointment today. We got the green and the white. What are we thinking, gang? Let me know. That lady, when she did them, she had like so sharp nails. Like genuinely, it felt like she was like stabbing me with her nails. She even cut me a little bit. It hurt. It hurt bad. I will say it was wild. I wanted to tell her to cut her nails like during it, but I didn't want to be rude. But it like hurt that bad. Like it was bad. Anyways, my little rant about that. Let's get into the news. It's been an interesting day, so let's get into it. Moving into the Trump administration segment, as we do, the first topic we have today is South Park last night destroyed Trump. South Park kicked off their 27th season by dedicating its entire first episode to attacking Donald Trump, one day after the creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, reach a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount. The episode is titled Sermon on the Mount and shows so much about Trump from him lying in bed and trying to sleep with Satan, but being turned down, of course, to arguing with Canada and even the size of his penis. There is so much more about this episode. It is genuinely hilarious. I recommend you watch it. If you like South Park, you're going to love it. I love South Park just because of these things. I mean, we might never see this episode on air again, but it was so funny. If you like South Park, you gotta watch it. I truly recommend it. They hit it right on the mark. It was hilarious. South Park is peak. Like that's one of my things. I have the first season on DVD. Little flex there. One of the better seasons in my opinion. That's for sure. Anyways, moving on, talking about this South Park, but moving on to the next topic. The White House is furious because of this. After the first episode of the 27th season of South Park released, criticizing Trump, the White House is reportedly pissed about it, although there is yet to be a Trump statement. The White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers said, "The left's hypocrisy truly has no end. For years they have come after South Park for what they labeled as offensive content, but suddenly they are praising the show. Just like creators of South Park, the left have no authentic or original content," he continues. "This show hasn't been relevant for over 20 years. It is hanging on by a thread with uninspired ideas in a desperate attempt for attention. President Trump has delivered more promises in just 6 months than any other president in our country's history, and no four-rate show can derail the President Trump's hot streak." I can't wait for this True Social post because I know it's coming. Matter of fact, we're gonna check right now because I haven't checked in a little bit. We're gonna check right now. I've been refreshing True Social all day, waiting for this post, and I haven't gotten it yet. But I am waiting. I am waiting. We might be in for a treat. Nope. Just something about Epstein. Nope. Nope. It's unfortunate. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day, truly. But I am waiting. For that episode. I am so excited. Or not episode. That post. I am so excited. I need it. I love South Park. They've made fun of Trump for years now. I don't know what he expects truly. But the best part is Paramount paid them so much money. It is truly a beautiful situation because not only is Paramount folding the Trump, but they just gave South Park so much money for them to go on air and do this when they're trying to get a deal done. I mean, it's beautiful. It really is. Moving on to the final topic for the Trump administration segment, Trump and the Catholic Church are fighting a law requiring clergies to disclose child sex abuse. Members of the Roman Catholic Church in Washington, backed by Trump, have won a victory in court as they seek to dismantle an aspect of state law meant to curb child sex abuse. U.S. District Judge David Estudillo granted requests for a preliminary injunction, placing a hold on the Senate bill, 5375. And the law requires that faith leaders disclose instances of child abuse, including Catholic priests. The law was set to go in place on July 27th. Oh, but trans people aren't supposed to be around children. That's a whole problem. When we got all of this, that's the problem. That's the problem. Sorry, just gotta get that out of my system. Anyways, and they say the left is hypocritical. I mean, what happened to protecting the children, dude? Like, of course it is expected from both the church or the Catholic Church and Trump. I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you the history on those two. I think we all know that. But it's gross. It really is. They should. Any priest who is touching a child should be arrested. Should go to prison. Doesn't care. I don't care if you're a religious figure or not, or a politician or not. Whatever you are, if you're touching children, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. There's no place for you. Get gone. It is not okay that so many people get away with that. It is absolutely fucking disgusting. Genuinely, it is fucking nasty that people are getting away with touching children. That is fucking disgusting, and I'm going to swear, because that's how I feel about that. In other news, moving on to a little Epstein and Trump segment, since TikTok won't let me talk about it, I'm going to highlight it. I think it's necessary that we talk about Trump and Epstein, so I want to make sure that, we're talking about it. I'm going to dedicate a segment for as long as I can on just the two of them every day, so we can talk about what's going on between Trump and Epstein, because the people should know. We really should be talking about this. We can't let Trump forget he knows Epstein. The first topic we have is Epstein refused to talk about Trump in court. When Epstein was asked if he ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump, he pleaded the 5th, the 6th, and the 14th Amendments. Epstein was asked, "Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?" and responded, "What do you mean personal relationship?" The judge asks, "Have you ever socialized with him?" Epstein responds, "Yes, sir." He then was asked, "Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in presence of females under the age of 18? Epstein responded, "Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today I am going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights." Him and Donald Trump were 100% doing what we all think they were. We all know that, but there's more proof every day. This just adds to it. I genuinely cannot wait to watch destroy this man. Like, this is going to be his kryptonite. I will be completely honest, dude. There's nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. That this is going to be Trump's kryptonite right here. I honestly, I was thinking about this today. I wonder what Epstein would say right now if he was still alive. I wonder what he would have to say. I'm a little interested in that, because obviously he would have something to say. Obviously, they talked to Maxwell. We're going to talk about that in the next topic. They did that today as well, and we don't know what she said. But I do wonder what he would have to say about that. It would be really interesting to hear his side of the story, especially because he said at least today. Did he plan on saying something in the future? I wonder if he would have. I really do. I really do. Anyways, in other news, the Department of Justice has met with Ghislaine Maxwell, or met. Ghislaine Maxwell met with senior Justice Department officials on Thursday in Tallahassee, Florida, where Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence. Maxwell's attorney, David Marcus, would not disclose the substance of the discussions, but did say there was a lot of questions and it lasted all day. And Maxwell answered every single one of them. He said she never did say, "I am not going to answer," never declined a single question. I wonder what he said, and I wonder what they asked. It kind of sucks that this all has to be under wraps and we don't get to know. Hopefully, we can learn one day. I would really like to. I know at the start of this I said I wasn't interested in it because it's been happening for so long. But the more I learn about it, it's a very interesting situation. The more evidence there is, the more it proves how connected Trump's was. It's very interesting, and I'm always, me, I'm always down to learn about the downfall of Mr. Trump. So, definitely an interesting situation. Hopefully, we can learn what they talked about. I would love to. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on into our other news segment, you can now pay the national debt with Venmo. NPR reporter Jack Corbett noticed on Wednesday that the Treasury has quietly added the option to use Venmo to contribute to paying the national debt. It appears this change was made between February 22nd and March 8th. The Treasury does regularly receive amounts, and this could raise that, as that's what experts believe it will do. And so far this year, they've brought in $434,000. Last year, they got 2.7 million, which is interesting. It is an interesting decision. I mean, Trump campaigned on getting rid of the national debt, and so far he's only doing things to make it worse overall and increase that debt. So I can't say I don't blame them, but I mean, Trump's the one putting us into this mess in the first place. He really is. But it's for sure something. I'm sure it does bring them more donations and whatnot, and we probably should clear the national debt. Although to some degree, it is good for a country to have debt. I learned that a little bit in economics. I will say that the American school system isn't the greatest, so I probably should know more. But we're always learning every day. That's what I try to do. That's why I do this. I do this to learn more every day. So we're out here learning. So whatever, whatever. You can pay with Venmo. If you want to help pay the national debt, you can pay with Venmo if you're interested. Anyways, in other news, Hulk Hogan has died at 71. Hulk Hogan, one of the biggest WWE stars of all time, has died at 71 in Clearwater, Florida. Authorities responded to the call about cardiac arrest, and Hogan was pronounced dead at the hospital. WWE said in a post on Twitter, one of pop culture's most recognizable figures, Hogan helped the WWE achieve goal recognition in the 1980s. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family and fans. My condolences to Hogan's family. We've lost two media icons this week, which, that does suck, but they were both really old. I did learn today, I didn't know this, that Hogan was not a very great person. Honestly, in my defense, I don't watch the WWE. I don't know anything about the WWE. I don't care about the WWE. I'm sorry. Wrestling just doesn't interest me. I watch football. That's about it. That's it. So my bad for not knowing that. I made a TikTok about that and kind of got flamed for, saying that it was unfortunate that he died. But, I've learned. So my bad, guys. It's wild that, both him and Ozzy Osbourne died this week. But hey, it happens, that's the circle of life right there. Hopefully, you know who is next. In other news, the United Healthcare confirms that there is being a major investigation into them. United Health Group has revealed it is facing investigations from the Department of Justice over Medicare billing practices. In a security filing from the company, said that it had started complying with formal criminal and civil requests from the Department of Justice, and that it reached out to the department after records of the probes had surfaced. Executives are likely to face questions as the company has now also dropped 2% on the stock markets. This is great news. I mean, healthcare costs way too much in this country for what it actually gets you. It feels like you pay an arm and a leg for Band-Aids. Sometimes it really does. And sometimes you don't even get those damn Band-Aids. There's a reason why Luigi did what he did. Speaking of, I wonder how he's doing right now. I know he's still sitting in jail. But I wonder how bro is doing, truly. But yeah, our healthcare system is so god awful in this country. People where, they have free healthcare say, oh yeah, we have to, wait a long ass time to get anything we want in, our country because our healthcare is free. Like, it takes forever to get appointments or whatever. We pay for healthcare in this country And it's still like that. Like, it takes so long to get anything with healthcare in this country, and you pay for it. Like, how is it in the United States of America, the one country in the world that's, or the one first world country in the world that doesn't have free healthcare, it still takes forever to get anything in the healthcare system. Like, you'd think you'd be able to at least get it like that. Like, boom, right there, you'd have what you need. And it still takes forever. Like, it is god awful. It is genuinely horrible. If something needs to be done, we need to fix it. Genuinely. I mean, for one, it needs to be free. And sure, we could probably offer the opportunity for people to maybe pay for better healthcare services. Why not? I don't see a problem with that. But for one, at the very least, we need to have a standard of basic free healthcare for every American. For two, people need to actually be able to get what they need from that healthcare at a reasonable rate. Like, there are so many better ways we could be doing this. I mean, we can look at so many countries we are allied with, and yet we're just sitting there with our thumb up our ass. We really are. In some other news, France has recognized or will recognize Palestine. France has officially moved to recognize the Palestinian state in September, according to President Emmanuel Macron. In a post on Twitter, he said, "The urgent need today is for the war in Gaza to end and for the civilian population to be rescued. Peace is possible. We need an immediate ceasefire and the release of all hostages and massive humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza." He continues, "True to its historic commitments to just and lasting peace in the Middle East, I have decided that France will recognize the state of Palestine." This is great news and a huge W for France. I mean, free Palestine for one. I mean, they absolutely need to be freed. That country is actively being attacked and doesn't deserve it. And for two, France is like such a cool country. I mean, I've talked about this before. This continues to show that off, though. I mean, I've said numerous times, I'm a fan of France. I know it gets a lot of hate on the internet. I think that's cringe. Big fan of France and its history, especially the French Revolution and the Napoleonic era. I mean, I've talked about how cool I think Napoleon is, especially the French Empire and all of that. That's one of my favorite eras of history. I think the Napoleonic Wars is probably my favorite set of wars in history overall. It is truly so cool to me. I love it so much. It is so interesting. France is dope. Gets too much hate. French people are cool. I've talked to a lot of cool French people. Don't got any problem with France. Number one in my book, best U.S. ally. Maybe second to Morocco, because they recognized us first. But overall, best U.S. ally, truly. In other news, moving on to our final topic tonight, Cambodia and Thailand are going to war. Cambodia and Thailand have entered into a military conflict over historical border disputes. Thailand launched airstrikes against Cambodian military targets along their border, which escalated the tensions. Thailand also accused Cambodia of launching rockets at civilian areas, confirming 12 people, 11 civilians, and 1 soldier had been killed. Thailand's current prime minister is suspended due to a phone call leaked by Cambodia's leader, where she criticized her army's actions. This is a historical conflict that has been going on since France mapped out the two countries. I know I just, said France was cool, but they didn't do great here. The amount of wars that have been broken out this year, especially with this conflict, is absolutely crazy. I believe this is around the, fourth or fifth one, especially with it, no more wars in, office, but whatever. We'll see if anything major happens. If it does, I'll keep you guys updated. But this has been a historic conflict, and has been a source of political attention for many years now. For many years, so it's not shocking. It really isn't. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. It's been, an interesting one in the world of the news worlds. Things are happening like they are every day, but hopefully all you guys are doing well. Subscribe if you're new on the YouTube. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, so that would be really epic if you're interested in seeing some more news content. We're working hard every day here, so nightly news podcasts if you're interested. I know I'm always looking for something to watch on YouTube. Can never really find anything, and I know a lot of people do enjoy being able to find this. So if you're interested in that and you're interested in something to have to watch every day, because I know YouTube is really in a dry spell. We're doing a little rambling here, but I don't really care. YouTube sucks. I always go on the YouTube page and I can never find anything interesting. It's boring. So if you're interested in something daily that you can consistently watch, follow this page. We're here bringing something daily to you. Um, but anyways, if you're on Substack, please consider subscribing. All funds go to me. They'll help me pay for the things that I'll need to pay for in college, like clothing and food and all those kinds of things. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I appreciate all forms of support on this content, and I will see you guys later. Bye.